Hi, this is Andy Turner, the Education Technologist at Illinois College. Today I want to show how we can go through a pipeline from one database to another. Here we have a Moodle database, and I'm getting some scores out of Moodle, doing some processing on them, populating some arrays in memory in Java, so that I can persist out a text file of that formatted report and then read that in Java to output to any other database. We could also go from here out to the web so that you could have an HTML file. So instead of writing a HTML based web report from a web server, you could write an HTML file programmatically using Java, and that way you could have a series of web pages that, like an array of web pages that you could show dynamically based on a graphical user input. So today basically I'm just going to show how to read and write files using Java. And here I have one example. So here we have a text file called hello1.txt, and that basically comes from this code, and I'll have this source code available. This creates a new file called hello1.txt in the same directory that this Java file is in. It creates a new file, and then with the file reader and file writer objects, sort of a shortcut importing other packages, you can write with comma separated values. This is an example, and then you can put a hard return on there, and what that does is just basically create a .txt, and then you can import that into Excel, for example. Let's try that. Open up Excel and then export that to JSON or whatever format of data that you would like to interchange. So let's go ahead and open L and then my first year folder, and then we can open up all files. And the one I want is hello1.txt, and let's see how that looks. I'm going to go ahead and choose delimited with a comma, and there we are. So then I could export that as a CSV, or I could change it, I think, to a .csv in the first place. What if I wanted to create JavaScript with this Java file? You know, I certainly could. So you could write an HTML page as well, and inside that HTML page you could create script that would look at other files and bring those in too. But here we're just kind of confining the possibilities, many possibilities, to just reading and writing in Java to give you that tool set to use. We can also see how we can write a file, and just to support the fact that we can generate a CSV, you can run this code to generate a comma separated value where you append items, say from an integer array, and then you can create a text file .csv or whatever the case may be, and convert that CSV to JSON so that you can create a file, and then maybe in Ruby you could download the CSV to JSON, CSV number 2 JSON, download that Ruby file, and then on a cron job or whatever the case may be, have that CSV automatically created into a JSON, into a .js file, and then you can take that and then call into that JS array or that JSON from the HTML. That way you have a dynamic web-based report using the same principles that we've looked at throughout the first part of the video series. So this is basically how it works. Last time we had a bike array. We called into this main class where you have a colors array. So let's just do the same thing this time. Instead of colors, we're going to actually use ID numbers, say an ID number for a grade. So maybe we have a sequential data set. That would be easy for a sequential search, where we have a grade, say that is an A, B, C, or D, and you're mapping that to a score 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, something like that, for assessment in our case. So let's go ahead and create a new array, and we're going to create an integer array. So we have int array name, equal new int with a number of elements. So over here, let's just go ahead and say int array name, and we're going to call this test array name with the square brackets equal new integer array with, let's say there are going to be 4 elements, 5 possible elements. 5 possible elements, and then that basically, in this case, is ID of a score. We'll keep it simple. There will be 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 here, because there's 5 elements. So what if we wanted to, down at the bottom here, we'll leave this test data alone for now, and then we'll say, if we want to generate whatever we want, we can say writer.append test sub 0, because that'll be the first number in an array, and it just so happens that 0 is what we want. And then I'll say this is write the first score to the screen, then so on. Now we have, and of course we could do this in a loop, test sub 1, so on and so forth. You can see how that would work. Let's go ahead and test that to make sure we get 0 and 1 output to the file. Now this file I'm going to call test3.csv, and it's going to this drive letter. So let's go ahead and save this Java file, generate CSV. We will compile it on the command line here. We have an error, can't find symbol, writer.append. Oh, it looks like it has to be a string. So let's put this in single quotes. Save that, recompile, reattempt. Doesn't like that either. Unclosed character, literal. Let's put it in double quotes. Let's put it in nothing plus that, plus nothing. Probably we could use single quotes there with the pluses. Let's try that, see if it's happy. Yeah, it liked that. So you have to quote the array keys, or quote the data in the array. Now let's go ahead and look at that Java. Let's see, actually, let's just see if that output that test3. And here I'm navigating to my L drive, and I see if I have a test3. I do not. Test3.csv. Oh, I have to run it. Yeah, I have to run it. Generate.csv, and there we go. Okay. Now that I've ran that, I do have a test3.csv, and there it is. So it did output the 0, but not the 1. Let's see. It didn't output the 1. Put a comma in the middle here. Oh, okay, I see. We have to do the new line thing, writer.append, and then we'll put a comma in there, and then we'll put the inline writer.append. Kind of like writing HTML in JavaScript, except for we're writing data in Java here. Let's recompile that. Oh. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, so you have to add a new one. Resave that, recompile it. Didn't like that either. Oh, I guess I didn't save it. Save. Oh, I guess I didn't compile it right. Java-C generate csv.java. There we go. Now I will run it, and now it'll make test4.csv. And it did, and here it is. Okay, 0 and 0. I wonder why it didn't populate the sequential numbers. I guess I need to specify. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't fill the array. So now we need to just fill the array with some numbers. We can do that like so. Yeah, we have to specify what each index is. So let's do that real quick. I will go ahead and populate this array here, and I will say another way you could do that, I think, is with the curly braces. But go ahead and say for int. I'll have to create an index. Int I equals 0. For int I equals 0. I is less than test.length. And this is a literal there. Length is a literal, not a method. And we'll say I++. And we'll say test sub I is equal to I. So the index is just equal to, the order of what's in the array. So we'll just save that, make sure that's saved, recompile, and test. Compile. It doesn't like that. I is already defined. Oh, okay. I is up here somewhere. Oh, I just need to do that. Save that. Live troubleshooting here. Sorry about that. Now we'll go Java, generate CSV. Now, I gotta make test 5. Save that. Recompile. Yeah, it doesn't like that either. Gotta compile it. Java. There we go. It will like that. Now I do have I will have a test 5 when I actually run that. And there we go. I'm opening it. And now I do have the 0 and the 1. So that's good. That's what we want. Now, so we can see how we can make a CSV with Java. We can create it programmatically. So I've just used sample data here, sequential numbers, and you can see the other sample data here. What if you could call into a real database from this Java file, call out, much like we saw at the beginning, we want to call into an existing database from Java, populate arrays with that data, sequentially sort the arrays. We can also do processing on those arrays, generate new arrays, or change the array contents and then output the correctly formatted report that we want. So that's reading, that's actually writing a file. To read an existing file is something like this. We can read what's in a file and then write that. So that works. And then it'll actually output that to the screen. So in this case, I'm creating a file here like I did before, and I'm filling that file. I'm also going to read that file. So I'll say, just to prove there's nothing going on here behind the scenes, local file writer.write, and it's just a built-in file writer. This is yet another example. And then, hey, no, just actually writing a. So then we just basically, I commented these lines out, and I added this is yet another example, and I could say and another. local dot file, oops, local file writer dot write, and another, and then we'll go \n, like that. Save that, recompile this, file read, javac file read, and then we go java file read to create that, and there we go. I can see it, and it should have made a file called hello3.txt in this same directory. Let's check that out. Here we are. CS160 hello3. There it is, and there it is. I didn't do the... Oh, look at that. It appends the text sequentially like that. Huh. Okay, so it's just this isn't respected by the text editor somehow, or the file creator somehow. We'll figure that out later. At any rate, what we saw here was how we can read a file into Java, and it prints it out to the screen. It called it local file, so it's actually reading hello3.txt. I can prove that just by editing local file hello3.txt, and I can say this was a CSV that came from the file system. Hard break, and then this, and then I'll just say new line. I will save this in place, and now when I read that again, this is yet another example. And another, oh, it didn't read it. It didn't read hello3.txt from the file system. Oh, because it created it again. Okay, so even though I wrote that here, it rewrote it there. So if I reopen this, yeah, it rewrote it. So I need to comment this out. And now, when I edit this, I'll just save, and I rerun it. Oh, maybe not. Hello3.txt. Must be in memory. Hello3.txt. Oh, it rewrote it again. Look at that. Let me recompile this. Oh, I'm running the wrong program. Okay, Java file read. First I compiled it, then I ran it again. Oh, file read. Hello3.txt. Okay, so now if I open hello3.txt again, yeah, now it'll be all new text. Hard return. It worked. Save that. Rerun it. It still didn't work. Where is that coming from? Maybe I need to recompile it. Maybe file or hello3 is still the same. I'll tell you what, I am going to make a new file. bring that file into the file system like so by creating a new file. I'm going to create hello4.txt in advance. New text file. hello4.txt in advance. Now it's in the same directory. You should be able to read it. I'm going to recompile it. And it doesn't output it. Oh, it overwrote it with blank text, so okay. I will say, I guess you can't change it in Notepad somehow. It must be in memory. It's clashing, so let's say all new text. I guess this is a good exercise to go through. Because it has to write it and read it all in one shot. It still doesn't read it. hello4. Oh. hello4. Huh, still blank. Or why? Right. Oh, because I have flush and close commented out. Alright. Hopefully as you're watching this, you're seeing the errors that I'm making. And then how they're fixed. Okay, there we go. So that works fine. Yeah, so I can read an existing text file. But that text file must be created within Java. So that's fine, because we would have created the text file in Java in the first place. So that's not a big deal. We can still use the array that we created, even if it's coming from a database. Like, for example, here we say that it would want to come in from a database. And then we're creating the array from the database in here. We're creating the data into arrays from the database. And then we're reading out to the screen that same data just for a sanity check. And then we're also writing the file with the resulting text. So hello4 should now contain, yeah, the right output. So that basically what we're doing there is we're writing a CSV from the database. That's all we're doing. So, you know, you could do so like this. Quick export file, you know, CSV like so, in Toad hitting the real database. But you would have to go through Toad and manually key enter all of this stuff. The course ID, the assignment ID for all of the relevant courses and assignments. So we basically want to load up, so to speak, this file with an array of relevant parameters, and then feed these methods with the right arguments, and then trigger those methods with the right parameters, go to the database, get the data out, put it in an array, sort it, process it, and then output it as a new CSV so that we can go out to another database that expects a different format, and then also read that to the screen in HTML form and to the console. That way we're double checking our data and making sure that it's correct. Hopefully this hasn't been too confusing. We will go through it again in class, and thanks a lot for your time.